The sport of volleyball has changed tremendously since the 70s. That's especially true at the University of Alabama, where it wasn't even recognized in the school's yearbook for its first 3 seasons. Ermelda Lee Polk had a lot to do with the pioneering of Alabama volleyball. She suited up for the game in 1972 and became the first black female student to compete in sports, any sport, at Alabama.
I had no idea that this was going to be an impact that future generations of young ladies would be able to say, oh, you started it. You know, you were able to be out there and you really made a difference in the way our girls volleyball team has evolved.
You know, we didn't think about any significance, you know, she was one of our teammates.
Dr. Susan Saylor was a teammate of Ermelda's. She says that no one at the school was actually talking about the pioneering impact of Ermelda. Getting the attention was not the intent. This was not a movement for Ermelda. Playing volleyball in 1972 and 1973 and playing basketball in 1973 was simply because she liked it.
It's not something that I had envisioned, being a pioneer. It's a good feeling, though, to know that I did something that was impactful on, like I said, future generations of young ladies who are willing to play the sport.
Earlier this season, Ermelda and her teammates had the opportunity to come back for Alumni Weekend and watch Alabama play Mississippi State.
Several of the ladies here from our early years were coaches in high school for, you know, our whole their whole career. I mean, we really took these opportunities and took them so other women could, girls and women could share those opportunities. Planted a seed and then that spread into the whole garden, that's true.
And Ermelda isn't the only person on the team to make history, so is the current coach. Rashinda Reed is the first black volleyball coach at the university.
I thought it was really beautiful for our players to connect with those group of ladies and talk about their experiences right here in the same space, which also is very important because it's like, hey, this space, although the same, it is continuing to evolve, but it is very much the root of volleyball. This is where it began.
That's the thing about volleyball. In 1972 compared to now, it's not so different. The mentality that Coach Reed brought to Alabama in her first season is very much in line with the 1972 team. Take what you learn and use it to advance the sport.
I can only imagine how, you know, walking into that same space, all those memories flooding back. You know, I'm sure Ermelda didn't think about how the impact that she was going to make in the sport, but it definitely is something that is resonating right now.
After Ermelda left Alabama, she had a career as a teacher in Detroit, where she had the opportunity to coach and take what she learned from her experience and pour into young players as well as the sport of volleyball.
The way those young ladies are playing is awesome. I would commend Coach Reed on her ability to work with these young ladies and teaching them how to strategize in ball placement and the way that they are able to spike the ball, set it up, the little tips that they do. It's all a good job that she's doing.
Even though Ermelda may not have realized it at the time, she paved the way for future black female athletes and even coaches. Her impact has remained prominent for over half a century. Local in Tuscaloosa, Grace Brister, WVUA 23.